So, with a lot of news coming out of the club, so many different rumors, so many different stuff been going on. We've seen a lot of links. There has been a lot of talk coming out of Barcelona recently. And, depending on, your preference, this is either some good news or, some, maybe not some bad news, but some news that maybe, you feel like you don't want to hear, or basically something that you want to hear later. But listen, guys, big up to every single one of you guys who are here. Big up to every single one of you. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. This is going to be a different video because, guys, I want to talk about something that's been coming out of the club recently. It's been the recent links to defense, which, in my opinion, is amazing news, right? Because look, listen, we know attack, Barcelona very focused, attack driven, but let's be honest. If we are really ambitious of trying to conquer Europe, we need to look at our weaknesses. And our biggest weakness in this Barca team is, without a shadow of a doubt, the defense. The defense has been a big problem. It's been a kryptonite. And recently, we've seen two players, very, very top players, being linked to the club. One of them being Alessandro Bastoni, and the other being Nico Schlotterbeck. But before we get started, guys, let me first of all introduce my guest, my Blaugrana podcast guest every single time. Man like Barca Boy 103 in the building. What is going on, Hafid?
I'm doing good, bro. And you're right. We need to fix this defense. One of the weaker points. We maybe will even have departures in the defense that'll encourage us to sign players in the defense. We know that Eric Garcia just renewed his contract. Same with Kubarsi and Balde, and I think Jordan Martin as well. But there are some holes. We are expecting some more than one people maybe leaving the defense in the summer. So signings are going to be needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's be honest, right? I mean, look, I know, obviously we have been having a lot of problems with the 101 rule, which has been, holding us back for seasons now, right? From actually going out, actually showing, our power in the transfer window and basically kind of getting rid of the players that are, we know they're not good enough, and players that need to be replaced and players that need to be added into this team if we're really going to get to where we want to get to, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? Obviously, the first one I'm going to talk about is Alessandro Bastoni. And the reason I'm going to start with Bastoni is because, firstly, is the price tag. I mean, he's got a contract that runs until 2028. He is Inter Milan's best defender by far. He is their best defender. They're jewelling the crown in defense, right? They're not going to sell him on a free. Absolutely not. They're going to absolutely milk the hell out of this deal if it's gonna happen. And number two, we know Italian players, they're very susceptible to leaving Italian football, right? It's very rare to see Italian players, leave their country that much, right? But I want to ask you, Hafid, in your mind, right? If we were to make this move, or if there is a realistic chance of making this move, what do you think about it? And personally, what do you want, right? Are you more interested in this move, or do you think that maybe there's another defender out there who might be a better?
I think Bastoni is probably one of the most complete out there. My only issue is the adaptation he'll need from playing, of course, in a 3-back as opposed to a 2-back, which I don't think will be too much of a difference. Maybe just something he has to get used to. But I think Bastoni is a hell of an option. I think what it comes down to Barcelona right now is getting the best defender for the best price. So Bastoni is going to cost a lot, like you mentioned. His contract is not expiring anytime soon. He's not close or something or anything like that. We have to tempt him. I'm not saying you have to tempt them with money, but you have to kind of tempt into the selling, and that's of course where money comes into play. So I think it's a bit of a tricky one, just based on the amount of years left on his deal. But I think if you told me pick a defender, anyone you could sign that's semi-realistic, Bastoni for me would be up there. I think he's complete. I think aerially on the ground, great tackle, of course, being Italian helps the stereotype, you could say as well. I think on the ball, he's fantastic as well. And like you mentioned, he has the experience where they be playing for Italy, playing in 2 Champions League finals for Inter Milan. So I think he's one of the best out there for what Barcelona need, but just about really the price that will hold things up. Not on the player side, but more so on the club-to-club side.
I mean, that is true. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I feel like when you look at these two players, right, Hafid, but specifically to Bastoni, right, he's a few times I've seen him, right? He's very good on the ball. Like he's a player who's very confident on the ball. He likes to drive. Like he's a player that likes to take his time. Make he's very good at this long pass, and I've actually noticed that in a few games I've actually watched him at Inter. Very calm on the ball, not someone that can rush stop it, right? And you're right. He's a very very accomplished defender, and he's very he's still young. He's still got a lot of years to give at the top level, right? And I'm not gonna lie, right? I feel like he's not rash. That's one thing I will say about him. He's not a rash defender, right? He's not a defender. You can tell he's very calm under pressure, right? It's very, very
Hmm.
rare for him to really make
Really good
mistakes.
composure on him.
Yeah, he's composure on the ball. And when you look at especially at our defense right now, right, that is what we're lacking. We don't have any composed defenders. Right? Kobashi, you can see, he's still a young defender. He's still rash, he's still raw as a defender, right? Araujo, we've seen it now multiple times where he when he loses his head, it's not always a good news, right? At the end of the day, it always is at the
At the
detriment
worst
of the
time
club.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And Christensen is one of those players who I feel like is a cool head, but clearly, he's not in the manager's plans, unfortunately. Gerard Martin, I mean, he's been good, but how can we really trust him to really continue playing in starting for this team? You understand what I mean, right? I feel like it's still
Hmm.
too early to judge. And Eric Garcia, I feel like Eric Garcia, as good as he's been this season, right? I feel like he's been better outside of the center back positions, right? When we've seen him at right back is where we've seen the best of him. When we've seen him sometimes in the defensive midfield is where we've seen the best of him. In the center back, I feel like some of the poorest games I've seen from Eric Garcia this season has been in center back. You understand what I mean,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I
And
completely
that's
agree.
exactly.
Oh, he
So
hasn't
for
been,
me,
although he hasn't been like terrible there per se.
no, of course. But I just mean like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, right? And that is a good point because Eric Garcia has been good. I'm just mentioning like in the case where I feel like he wasn't at his best, it's when he has been a center back, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes, not all the time, by the way, right? So Bastoni is the best for me. It is the one I feel like will make the biggest impact. However, like I mentioned, apparently the lowest amount that Inter will even consider is apparently 90 million. That
Hmm.
is the thing. And let's be honest here, Hafid, right? If we are going to be active in the summer, we're not just gonna need a defender. We're gonna have to go out there and get a striker as well, potentially, if Lewandowski leaves. You understand what I mean, right? There's so many positions that I feel like we will have to focus on. And let's be honest, we're not gonna have a crazy budget in the summer if we do have a budget at all, right? The highest
Yeah.
amount will, yeah, the highest amount will probably the highest, and I mean genuinely being very realistic when I say this, the highest we could probably get in spending in transfer will probably be 200 million, and that's being realistic. That's me being actually being nice. Let's be real, because even if we're on the 101 rule, that's probably the highest we can spend. If we were to have 200 million in transfers funds this summer, and we put just 90 million on just Bastoni alone, right? Imagine going out to get a striker, like trying to get an Alvarez or one of those kind of players. That's like that's basically the two fundings on both players, just like that. So, realistic wise, personally for me, I don't know if this is the right deal for us now. You understand what I mean, right? I feel like it's the best deal, but for the club's future, I feel like it's one of those deals where I don't know, man. I would rather go for another option. What do you think about that? Do you think that Barca should go in for Bastoni, or do you think that there are cheaper options out there for you?
Of course, of course. I don't think for that price it's not worth it. But he's kind of like the cream of the crop. If you have $1 billion budget, you kind of go for him.
Hmm.
But I think for that price, it's a bit too high. I probably value Bastoni around 60 or 70, I would say, for his talent. I was just checking now in terms of his current contract with Inter Milan. It
Hmm.
goes for quite a long time. It goes till 2028. And his
I
market
just
value
mentioned that,
right
yeah.
now, yeah, his
Hmm.
market value right now is around 82. So I think he's right now in a good position where his value
Hmm.
is going to be peaking. So you gotta have to wait where he has maybe a year, maybe even 2 years left on his contract. Maybe wait until not next summer, but maybe the following summer after that.
Yeah.
But I think for 90 million, I think you agree as well. It's probably a bit too pricey for what we also need in the squad and for the value of the player as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is for me why I am more very susceptible to this move, because I would love for this player to come in, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, we're just not ready to bring in a player of this magnitude at the club right now, right? Another option that is out there is man like Nico Schlotterbeck, right? Now, the interesting thing about Schlotterbeck is he may not be the club's first option, but he's definitely the manager's first option. This is one of those players that Flick personally would want us to sign, right? From Dortmund. What do you think about this now? I want to go, yeah, let's just get into it. What do you think about the Schlotterbeck deal?
It's a bit more favorable than Bastoni. He'll be available for a cheaper option. I think his contract expires in 2027, so this summer he'll be in the last year of his deal. So you can get him now for maybe 20, 30 million, or you can wait until next summer to get him for free. I would also remember as well that this is a World Cup year. So these players that we are being linked with can go to the World Cup, ball out, increase their price, go to the World Cup, do shit, decrease their price. So comes to the Barcelona what they want to decide to do it now, during the World Cup, after the World Cup. That's going to prolong things as well. It's usually difficult to get deals done during the World Cup because players are already focused on the World Cup, especially if the team goes far and stuff like that. But with Schlotterbeck being half the price, it's more favorable. I don't think Schlotterbeck is half the player. I do think Bastoni overall is better, a better defender per se. But I wouldn't say Schlotterbeck is half the price, which is where the main factor comes in. Let's say if I were to rate Bastoni, I'd rate him like an 8.5 out of 10. I'd rate Schlotterbeck like 7.8, like high sevens. And then again, when you're at Barcelona,
That's very high. I thought you would say 6. I thought you were gonna say 6.
No, I do rate Schlotterbeck. He is quite a strong defender. I did a video on it as well where you look at his stats. The only issue with Schlotterbeck, he is injury prone, gets injuries. Not Denny Olmo injury prone, but he gets a little niggle here and there. So that's the kind of the baggage that you get with him. But when he's fit, he's a complete defender, and also he is left-footed as well. I think Bastoni is right-footed, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he might be left-footed too, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he?
I think Bastoni is a left-footed centre-back too, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, he is left-footed. Damn.
Yeah, left-footed.
Because that's what we need, man. We need a left-footed centre-back.
That's why I feel like this is why these two are being linked heavily, because they're both left-footed.
Yeah. So I think that the Schlotterbeck deal looks really, really nice. And it'll be nice for Flick to get some Germans around him as well, make him feel a little bit home. Maybe he'll stay a little bit longer. But I do think, again, people may not like this, but this is the reality. It's really going to come down to the prices of the players of who Barcelona will go for. Like if, for example, we're going to go sign Cristiano Ronaldo or R9. So compared to two Ronaldos, Cristiano's going to be 200 because he's always fit. He can play in multiple positions. Then you have R9, probably going to be like 100, but he's going to be a little bit, niggling here or there. But in his peak will probably be better than Cristiano. So that's what you're kind of betting on with these type of signings. So I think the Schlotterbeck deal is quite favorable. What I've been hearing, I don't know if you've been hearing the same or seeing the same, but what I've been hearing is that Barcelona kind of don't really know who they want to center back. You're hearing Schlotterbeck, you're hitting Bastoni, you're hitting Mark Guehi on a free deal as well. So we have to wait for Barcelona to really hone down in on their targets and then see. I think right now these are all names that we like, but once we hit maybe after the January transfer window into February, March, that's when we'll have our list for the summer quite like concrete, and then we can really judge it. But if it was up to me, if you told me, Barca boy, you got the keys, who you signing? I think for what's out there, what's worth it, and what's realistic, I would probably favor Schlotterbeck.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Let's be honest, right? Because I think the highest I can see Barcelona spend it on Schlotterbeck in the summer, if we do go and find, is the highest we could probably spend is 50. And that's us being really nice, because like you mentioned, he will be in the last year of his deal. He's a wanted player, to be fair, right? He's not just Barca that are interested. Apparently Madrid are also interested in Schlotterbeck, right? So he will have options, especially if he goes to the World Cup and actually, balls out or shines for Germany in the defense. You understand what I mean, right? That would just increase his basically his stock even more, right? And look, I feel like if his stocks do increase, then he's very likely to join either Barca or Madrid. And I think it really comes down to who spends the most money, right? Now, would I spend 50 million realistic right now on Schlotterbeck? Probably not. I don't think he is a 50 million. I do believe he has the potential to go to a next level if he does join a Barca or Madrid. I think
That's
if
the
he
thing,
comes,
yeah.
yeah, I think if he comes to one of our clubs, he will go to another level where he will be probably worth 100 million if he plays to his best, if he joins one of these clubs, right? But right now, he's not there. So for me, I feel like realistically, spending 50 million on Schlotterbeck, when you consider the fact that, let's be honest, Hafid, we need a defender. That's the problem, right? It's not like, we have good defenders and we just want to add into what we already have. We are desperate. When you look at our defense, it's not that good. And because we are basically desperate right now, we're gonna try and get the best deal that we can. We're not gonna go out there and spend be crazy with our money like we did in the Bartomeu era. You understand what I mean, right? We're actually gonna. I feel like we're gonna look at it and say, well, if we're in a better position, we wouldn't maybe spend on this money, but now we actually need to. You understand what I mean, right? Especially, let's say, if we do
Yeah.
miss out on Guehi, because I've seen the Guehi deal has kind of slowed down a lot. Before I heard some links about it, but it seems like it's really taking a low turn, right? And I feel like he's
Yeah.
more likely to probably join Real Madrid. You understand what I mean? If he does join a La Liga team, most likely, right? But
I don't know about
yeah,
that, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He could join anyway. I don't know, man. I don't feel like the club are really that buzzed in trying to bring in Guehi. I don't think they are compared to Schlotterbeck and Bastoni. You understand what I mean? Right? So for me, if we do spend 50 million on Schlotterbeck, I think that would be a good deal. It would be a good deal. I know, yeah, you mentioned he does have his injury problems, but it's not as bad as Omo. And I guess that's anything is better than Omo, let's be real. Right. And when I look at our center back partnerships, he will definitely improve our defense. But I'll be honest with you, with your Hafid. I think realistically, we need two center backs. Now, here's the thing. Even though I'm mentioning the Guehi deal being unlikely, Guehi is going to be on a free. He will be on a free. If we do get Guehi on a free, if we were able to convince him to come in on a free and getting Schlotterbeck in the summer, that would be a huge, huge statement to make in the summer if we were to get both of these two. You understand what I mean, right? And if Schlotterbeck, and also this is another important thing we need to mention also, Hafid, if Schlotterbeck gets options of Madrid and Barca, he could force the move, which could potentially give us an advantage to spend less. If buy him for 45 or 40 million if he is trying to force the move out.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of how I look at it. And for me, I'm just like, I'm also with you. I think realistically, for the future of the club and also for the potential summer that we do want to have as Barca fans, I think Schlotterbeck would be the best option, right? If we can bring in Schlotterbeck, let's say we have 200 million in the bank and we spend 50 million on him, there's still 150 sitting there, right? So
I hope we have 2 million in the bank. I hope we have 2 million in the bank.
Hey, listen, man, I'm being positive because I'm gonna be better deal. That's like this is why I keep insisting if we're lucky because I don't know, man. Like you know what it is with us, Alfred, right? We talk about the news. We try to give the best insight that we can, right? Because we read into this stuff. But the problem with the club is they tell us one thing and then all of a sudden they just put the rug under our feet, where they're like, well, if we get the stadium ready, then all of a sudden we'll be back to 1-on-1. Okay, cool. We're back in the stadium. How long should we take? Okay, when we sell the VIP seats, okay, we sold the VIP seats. Now what's the problem? You see what I mean, right? That's the problem with us. They tell us one thing, we believe them, we talk about it in our channels, make news about it, the people listen to us, and then when those things happen, they're like, well, okay, you guys told us that this was gonna happen. It's like we're just hearing the same things they're hearing. So, look, the reason I'm being like this, honestly, Hafid, is because we are back in the stadium. And I think that by the time the season is over, we will probably most likely be in full capacity because the club is still being renovated, even though we're back in the stadium. You understand what I mean, right? They're still finishing up the stadium. So we could be back by the end of this season, the full capacity. And if we are back in full capacity, then that means that we can be able to, finalize the deal to sell
I
the VIP.
think it's full capacity by the end of next year, and then 60,000. Remember that the space right now that there's nobody sitting in with the Spotify logo that will be filled. Hopefully, I would think around January time. So you'll have
So that and
60,000.
that's the hope, isn't it? So that's the
Yeah,
hope. So the hope is we'll be back at
they're
technically.
actually selling VIP seats for El Clasico. So the next El Clasico in the league is at the Camp Nou. They're selling VIP boxes. The VIP box already. They're like 4,000 euros each ticket, but you get like the whole like elite class treatment. So maybe people buy those. We can we can sell those up. Maybe we can get some transfers, and who knows?
And that's my point. So if we do get because the whole talk for the past few seasons has been that the VIP seat selling it will actually help us get very close or equal to the 101 rule. That's what they were telling us. So that's why right now I'm looking at them like, okay, cool. I still remember what you guys told us. You told us that if we sell the VIP seats, we will be equal to the, we might not be above it, but we'll be equal to the 101 rule, which could help us, maybe go into transfer window and spend more money than we have been doing in the past season. You understand what I mean, right?
Mhm.
So I'm looking at them and say, okay, cool, no problem. If we do sell the VIP seats, I want to see, because I'm not sitting here saying spend 300, 400, 500 million. That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, we don't have that money, but at least get us 3 top signings, not world class, but top signings that will change or improve the team, rather than going out here getting loans and getting free transfers and kind of just scraping under the barrel to go and get players. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, you know what it is, right? These are 2 great players. These are 2 great players, and I would love for both of these guys to be at my club. But if I was to pick one of the 2 for me, it's going to be Schlotterbeck. One, because I think that he's got potential of being world class, and also he is the best option financially as well. So, what
Yeah.
about you? What's your last word on this?
My last word is that the club need to be very cautious, very precise, very quick on this kind of signing, because we have been begging for not only a center back reinforcement but also in the fullback area as well. That area cannot be ignored. Someone of a natural ability. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very scared the club are gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna put Kudney in the middle. We're not gonna buy anyone. We'll spend our money on our striker and blah blah blah." So, a signing is necessary, and to specify even more, a left footer. We saw how well and how strong the system works when you have a left footer with Inigo Martinez last season, and this is why Gerard Martin is looking much better with a left foot. It brings fluidity, it brings composure. You can move the ball quicker, more preciser as well. These are key aspects that need to be met. Whatever they want to bring, I think honestly, fresh blood is kind of all we need as long as they're decent. And up to me, like I mentioned, I think for the price, Schlotterbeck is one of the most ideal out there, depending on his injury history. If his injuries are very severe and he'll get a lot of relapses, I might back out. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that Schlotterbeck is the best option. But again, the club need to bring someone with a left foot. That is the main criteria for me. As long as they're left footed and they're good, I'll take it.
Hey, you heard it. At the end of the day, I agree with you. For me, I feel like realistically, we just, beggars can't be choosers. We are at the point now where we're like, bro, just bring us a top quality center back, left footer center back. That's all we want. If we
Mm-hmm.
don't get Bastoni, we get Schlotterbeck, cool. Cool. We'll take it. We will take it and we'll run with it. Right? And like you mentioned, we gotta get, for me, I feel like we need to get the best option financially. So that, like you mentioned, we can go out, because I know I talked about striker, but like you mentioned, fullback is another position that we need to go and focus on in the summer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We need to go and get a right back. I'm sorry, right? If we are not gonna play Eddie Garcia at right back, because it doesn't look like we are. I feel like Flick is trying to play him everywhere but at right back for some reason. Right? Then go get a right back. Or go get a left back, because Alejandro Balde is the only left back we have right now. That's the thing. So yeah, that's gonna be a video for another day. But big up to every single one of you guys. Let us know, guys, in the comment section below. Who would you guys rather have? And also tell us why you would rather have that player, and realistically, if we can get him. Like if you guys want Bastoni, what do you think the club should do to be able to bring in Bastoni? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Barca Boy. His channel will be in the collab icon, guys. So make sure you guys go subscribe to Barca Boy every single time. And make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. This guy Barca, guys. Take care. Peace.